that is one of the most important things we're going to uncover for anyone listening is conventional wisdom will kill your dreams. Because the naysayers, the people who are afraid to roll the dice and risk it, they have risk adversity. So when a rebel entrepreneur like you or John Paul or Wynn sits across from them, they don't know what to do. And in many situations, I've been very fortunate to be with John Paul in a lot of deals. And I've watched a room of blue suits look at the guy in the black T-shirt with the PLH on it, like we own this guy. He didn't go to Harvard. He didn't go to Duke. And John Paul does math like a savant. And by the end of the time, when all these blue suits look at him, he goes, "No, that's off by 3 points. You come back with this, this, and this. Maybe we'll talk." And he goes, "Come on, Gary, let's go to lunch." Out we go. And that's and that's like you. And so when you have these students, because they're listening now. We've got them now. They understand why Giulio is a good mentor. The framework is so. Let's talk about the business of framework and how you build a company. What do you start with? What do you look for in an employee? And what are some of the systems? Because right now, from what they're hearing, is like a struggle. What I know for a fact is Orlando got voted the best beauty school, correct?
2 years in a row. Yeah.
2 years in a row from a guy who said couldn't do it and it wouldn't work. So here we are, fast forward to the 2 years in a row, the best beauty school. So what's your framework? Because I don't want to steal it because I kind of get you. I've been with you long enough. I know how you operate. So just share how you did this.
Well, one thing is always important is, you have a vision and you got to write that vision down, which then you create a system from that and a culture from that vision. And we together collectively created with Win, with a bunch, a few people, very small amount of people, created a culture, and said that, and we understood that culture was key. And what you tolerate is what you get. And that was a great saying from Keith Cunningham. Culture's king. What you tolerate is what you get. Well,
Yeah.
And here's the thing. We had to make sure that we set the precedence of who we are, what our culture is, what our systems, but we had to give the training and the tools to equip those people and letting them know that this is the vision. The vision is to, take care of our customers, and our customers are the students. Make sure they get the best education ever, the best customer service ever. And how do we do that? By, giving our team the best tools and information they needed. So when you start a company, make sure that you stay firm with your vision, with your system, with your cultures. You may tweak a little things here and there, but it can't live in your head because, you'll change things. Like if you feel like wearing jeans today, but your culture said no jeans, then all of a sudden, well, okay, today everybody can wear jeans. And from now on, we can wear jeans, or we could do this, or we can do that. If you keep changing it, you have no consistency. Now, is everybody going to be happy? No, but the majority of the people that came through our schools were extremely happy and went on to become extremely successful, not because we made them successful. We offered them the right tools, the right team, the right mentorship so that they can go on with their dreams. Did I answer your question, or did I kind of
Yeah, you
float
did
around it?
because you hit it. No, you hit it perfect because everyone listening is now hearing that you have to set the boundaries. This is this is consistency in messaging. This is what we stand for, and you get what did John Paul say? Inspect what you expect.
Yeah.
So when you signed up to work for Giulio, this is what you signed because when we do the same thing, this is our culture. This is what we expect from employees. You read that, and if you can do that, we'll give you the 90-day trial, but this is what you signed. You're going to do the following. You're going to be part of this. And one of the things I've learned from great business minds is when you sit them down, I never manage the person. I manage the system they agreed to follow. And that's something you do a lot of. So as you're looking at this and we're going down the road, what do you see as the future? If you're giving advice to people coming into our industry, what is the advice you give someone coming in? And when they're going out and they want it, because right now, everyone's a superstar. The Insta famous. They think that these guys on Instagram who are showing you this gorgeous work. It's a 14-hour photo shoot, and these poor kids are trying to duplicate it in a salon, and they're trying to do it in 4 hours. And now they're losing clients, losing money. So I think it's important someone who's got the scars to prove that he's fought the dragons and won, what advice would you give to someone first entering the business?
The right
Or
advice.
anyone?
It's like, here's what I got to tell you. It's like Shaquille O'Neal walking up to 5'6" Giulio and saying, if you really put your mind to it, you can be a great NBA player. No, I don't have the DNA for that.
Nope.
So,
Nope.
there are a lot of false inspirational advice that you need to stop and think. Listen, we live in a microwave world, right? We want
Yeah.
everything really quickly. And this is what we got to reinstill in our lives. We want titles, we want positions. I told people I was that way too. I want to be president tomorrow. But listen, I couldn't sustain that because I can get the title, but how am I going to sustain that title if I haven't learned how to get and keep that title, or the culture or the systems and the work that goes behind it? So my analogy is get back into the crock pot, get out of the microwave. Okay, get back
Yeah.
into the crock pot. Let it cook slowly, meaning the knowledge, the wisdom, the techniques. Work at it and let it get tender. Let that moisture built up was inside, and the flavors, which is knowledge, seep through that beautiful roast that you got in the crock pot, which is your mind. And
Stop.
when
I'm thinking of your mother's dinner now. I'm getting
I know,
hungry now.
right? But the great thing is when you get to where where your goals are, and I hope that when you get to your goals you set new ones, but when you get to that higher position, how much more can you sustain that? Gary, you and I've seen so many times people that have slept their way to the top, lied their way to the top, cheated their way to
Yeah.
the top. But we've watched them fall past us a lot quicker and a lot faster than those who took the
Yeah.
time to understand, so that when they did get that promotion or they did get that gig, they could understand. Now, when you come out of the school, most people are like, well, I'm going to open up my own business and make $1 million and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I love the enthusiasm and I hope you make all the money in the world, but let's forget about that. Don't focus on the money. What I need you to focus on is if you're going to get out and start your own business, you better make sure you have enough revenue to support the bills that are going to come while you're building that business. And that's booth rental. There's nothing wrong with it. Some people have the gift to make it happen right away. But I personally went out and started in a cuttery where they offered education, where I could build my speed, my skills, make my mistakes, because that was like phase two of my learning. And then when I got comfortable with that in a year, I moved up to the next level salon, and got more comfortable with that. Then I went into a private salon year after that, and for the first few months, I didn't want to do the towel. I didn't want to be the gopher. I had to do the towels, but I didn't want to be the gopher. I wanted to learn. I wanted to grow. And when I felt confident enough, I opened my own business. Now, same thing as booth rental. If you get right out of school, I didn't have a lot of clients. However, I opened it and went out and met people and met as
Yeah.
many as I could and gave them my card, because we didn't have Instagram, Facebook, all that modern technology. But today too, you could sit there and say, "Yeah, but I got 100,000 followers. Yeah, I got. I'll just put it on Facebook." Listen, what gets the most attention is word of mouth and the results
Yeah.
of your work and the experience that the client got. But if you're posting all these wonderful things, but when the client comes in and they're not meeting that person that was wonderful on Instagram or Facebook, and they see a
Yeah.
total opposite, you're not going to win. So there's a lot more than just going on and posting and think it's going to happen overnight. Take your time, get in the crock pot. It will come, and when it comes, watch out, because if you keep the focus on the great experiences you can give other with the great techniques that you have, money will be thrown at you like you've never seen before. And that's what John Paul taught me. Uh,
Yeah.
John Paul didn't start out as a
He
billionaire. He
Oh no,
started out
he was
homeless.
350 borrowed dollars sleeping in a car. And the
Exactly.
thing that I want to touch on is your level of gratitude. And then, there's a great friend of ours, and he's a country singer. His name's Ray Wiley Hubbard, and he has a great saying. He says, "The day I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, I have good days." And
True, so
so
true.
what we looked at now is you've always had a servant's heart, because we talk about that all the time. You've kept your gratitude higher than your expectations, because when you do that, you're always giving thanks and there's a good energy. And that's a lot of what your culture is. So as you go into your schools, they graduate, and I meet a lot of your students. I mean, just if you're listening right now, Giulio has influenced so many people that you'll never know. He doesn't know. I meet him when I'm out in my travels. Oh yeah, you're from upstate. Like I have friends still in Saratoga, and I don't know how many of your students from Schenectady have opened beautiful salons in Saratoga. You know what I mean? This is what you've given them, and you've always kept it like we've kept it. Because John Paul and I and you and we started Peace, Love, and Happiness out of a necessity because people weren't doing the right thing. We don't want to force you to do the right thing. That's your gift, and that's what people forget. Charity is a gift, but when you live purpose before profit, the money just comes at you. And that's what Giulio just was saying about John Paul, and how if you lead with that servant's heart, you're giving before you take. And
Yeah.
a lot of these people are looking for the shortcut to the cash without giving, without working. And you don't have to suffer to be successful, but know if you do suffer, there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you'll appreciate what you have. Is
Well,
that a fair assessment?
that's a fair assessment because you're right. You know what? I may not have money in the beginning of my career, but I have a gift. Now I can go to the
Yeah.
coalition, I can go to the nursing home, I can go to a cancer center, and I can share my gifts with these people just by doing their hair, their makeup, whatever it is, because that makes them feel good. Um, and then when the prosperity hits, then you can share the prosperity with other people. That's when you start making money, it gives you and become fruitful, it gives you the opportunity to share that blessing with so many others. If you get greedy, you're only hoarding. And listen, every one of us has an end date and you can't take it
Yeah.
with you. But the more, and I'm not saying you got to empty your pockets. You still got to pay your bills. You still got to feed your family. But don't be so greedy and be so afraid that you can't give to others and help them along the way. And like I said, it doesn't always have to be money. My God, what did we learn during COVID? you know?